Hey guys, welcome back to Sam's Garden Project. So, I have been super busy in the garden. It's autumn, so there's always lots of things to do. This morning, Dylan and I cleaned out the chicken coop and we redigged it a little bit to make it a bit easier to clean out all their poops in their coop area. So I'll show you what we did in the chicken coop. We have cut down some of the trees, not completely, but we give them a big cut back, and also lots of weeding, spreading some compost around and getting the compost bins emptied and reorganized. And today I'm going to plant my garlic finally into some pots that I've got. But first I want to show you my chicken coop and what we've done. So the girls have been put back in here because they were getting a bit destructive and ripping up some plants, which is not good. So it's got no, they're gonna jump out. So it hasn't got any like mulch at the bottom yet. So I'm gonna empty this bag in, but I wanna show you the system that we did for their coop. So we've also turned it around a bit. As if you remember some other videos, it was along the back wall there. So we'll put it around this way just so it's easier to collect the eggs from this end, and also a bit easier to clean it out. So what I was struggling with in this coop is this pull out slide here. It just had like a drawer, so this was solid, and obviously the chickens are in here overnight, they poop a lot, it builds up, and I'd have to empty this every couple of days and it would get stinky. So to fix this problem, I got Dylan to cut out the little tray that was here, and we got some wire mesh from Bunnings. It's quite firm mesh, and my thinking is that the chickens will poop, it'll go through the mesh, or it'll be easier to kind of get rid of out of this sleeping area. And then we're going to cut this out, and so we'll be able to scoop the poop that comes through, and then that'll be easier to get out of the way and also clean out the coop more often. What do you think about this? Hey? So I'll need to come back and put some mulch in their nesting box, because they won't like having nothing to lay their eggs on. Excuse you. So that's one of the things we were up to this morning. Whilst Dylan was doing that, I was weeding and getting the compost out of our little turntable composter. So we've got a big bucket here. I moved it from this location here. There was a big like a turning composter, and I've spread some of the compost around, bits and pieces, and this also helped me weed a lot of the grass that's popping up after we've had some rain, and also along the fence. I'm trying to get all this grass out, and then eventually we will put wood chip mulch there to make it a bit more nicer looking. So another big job we've done a few weeks ago now is we chopped back these 3 bushes and we mulched the 2 on the outside, and the bay leaf, I've got the leaves in a big pile here just to cut up and do something with. That's okay, like if they're drying out here, because you use them dried and you can just wash them, and yeah, so it'll be fine. I've got to figure something out on how to use them. This is all the compost, mulch, whatever you want to call it, from the chicken coop, so I need to figure out what to do with that. It's probably a bit too rich to put straight onto the garden beds, so I'm going to put some in the compost bins. In this wheelbarrow here, I've also chopped back the lamb's ear that was growing, and I put some of the wood chip mulch from the trees there, and I've just layered it with some mushroom compost. So there's a bit of an update on some of the bigger jobs we've been up to, but today we need to get to planting some garlic. As everyone else in Australia and in Melbourne is doing or has done already, we need to plant some garlic. So next week is Anzac Day is coming up. The saying normally goes that you plant garlic around Anzac Day and then you harvest it around Remembrance Day in November. So it takes a long time, and I have a different plan for my garlic this year. They're not going in a garden bed. So let's get into it. First of all, I need to empty out one of the containers that I had potatoes in, and I'm going to be using that for garlic this year. So there's some strawberry runners that have rooted themselves in the soil, but they're going to have to go. Let's see how many potatoes we got. Alright, so that's not a bad little harvest. That one looks like it's been eaten, so they can go in the bin. But that's not bad. I thought these plants had died back. The potato plants did die back in summer, but obviously with the rain and now that we're in autumn, the cooler weather, they've resprouted. So there was some green plants in the pot, but that's okay. These potatoes can be eaten now, and I needed to use this pot for garlic. So before I plant them, I just want to take a second to talk about the garlic seed that I have this year. I got 2 bags. For the first time I'm going to be growing elephant garlic, so really big bulbs that become really big. I think this is actually a member of the leek family, but they've got a garlicky kind of taste, although not as strong as regular garlic. So these are huge. I'm going to be planting, I don't know, a bag full of them. And then with my regular garlic, these are a lot smaller, and I think these are a purple variety. Some are from my cupboard and then the others are from Garden Express. So those are the garlic seeds that we're going to be planting today. So now that the tub is filled with soil, we can get to planting out the seeds. So with garlic, the pointy end goes in the ground facing up, because that's what the stem grows from. I have a smaller regular bulb here that has sprouted. So as you can see, the green bit has sprouted from the pointy end of the clove. So I'm going to spread half of the bed going to have elephant garlic and the rest is going to have regular garlic. I'm just going to top it with some sugarcane mulch. And then we'll just water it in and we'll be done. So I've just put it back where it was from. I've got sweet potato next to it. I know sweet potato is frost tender, but I'm going to move that container into the greenhouse during the colder winter. So let's get to why I'm planting garlic in a pot this year instead of in my raised garden bed. So if you're watching my videos from last year, my garlic had rust last year in the bed that I now have broccoli and cabbages in, and then the year before that it was in the very end raised bed, and it was shaded by the olive tree and the lemon tree, so they didn't get much sun and they didn't grow very big. So both years they were tiny little bulbs that grew, and they were both kind of fails. Like I could still use the small bulbs for roasting whole. Like I just chopped up the clove in the whole garlic head in half and put it in with some roast meat or whatever, which is a good way to use up the smaller heads of garlic. But this year I want to grow big garlic. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to try and get the best possible product as I can. So this year I'm growing them in a pot. So that's just because the soil in the bed, because it had garlic rust, it's like a fungal disease for garlic and also onions it can affect. Because it got affected by that last year, I'm going to plant it in a pot, as you saw, fresh soil with some compost down the bottom. That's going to break down over time and add more nutrients. Garlic really loves nutrient dense soil, and they're heavy feeders throughout the season, so they love getting topped up with compost and seaweed solution. So that way I can put it in a pot. It's separate from my garden beds as a bit of an experiment. We'll see how they turn out. I know I did crowd them a little bit in that little container, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes when they all pop up. Some of them are small, some of them are bigger cloves of the normal garlic, and we'll just see what happens. But yeah, so that's why they're going in a pot and not in my raised beds, and that also allows my raised beds to be used for more veggies. So I also need to plant out a second sowing of brassicas, so broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. I've got the seeds ready to go, I just need to plant them out. And I've also got some spring bulbs to plant out, which need to go. I've got a rough plan in my head of where I'm going to put them, but I just need to get out there and do it. So that'll be in an upcoming video. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. It's not too late to get your garlic in if you're in any southern state, also in any northern states. It's not too late, so probably by the end of April you could get your garlic in. Also try and get some garlic that is acclimatized to your region. I know in Melbourne we're a lot colder than Brisbane, so you can grow garlic in Brisbane. Just try and find a more heat tolerant variety that doesn't need as much cold. Different types of garlic are acclimatized to different conditions. The ones that I've planted today are just general cold garlic, so they do well in cold. Plenty of that down here in Melbourne. So let me know in the comments if you've planted your garlic yet, and if you've had any success with it in the past. My last 2 years have been fails, so I'm keen to try and get a success this year. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.